guys, it's Miss Wassmuth. Today we're going to review adding and subtracting integers. We learned this at the end of last year, so you might remember some of it, but you might not. So first off, let's start talking about adding integers. Okay? One of the first ways we learned to do this was with those counters. Okay? And the positive ones had plus signs in them, and the minus ones had minus signs in them. And I taught you about something called a zero pair, okay? Remember we said if we have one positive and one negative, those could cancel out because those were equal to zero, a zero pair. So if you were adding a positive and a negative, you could just draw all your positives and your negatives, cross out your zero pairs, and then you'd be done. So for example, this is 1, 2, this is positive 3 plus negative 2, and when I made my zero pairs, I was left with positive 1, okay? So let's try one. So right now, I'm gonna write a problem, you're gonna pause, you're gonna try the problem, and then you're gonna unpause to check. So what if you did negative 7 plus positive 4? So right now, hit pause, try this problem. When you have an answer, unpause, and see what you get. All right, so I have 7 negatives. Okay. And I come get my 4 positives, and I'm lining them up so I can make zero pairs nice and easy. Those 4 go away. I'm left with negative 3. Okay? The other way we talked about was on a number line. Okay? So, for example, if I come back to this problem, that positive 3, I'm going to draw a little piece of a number line right here. Start at my positive 3, and I'm going to add negative 2, which means I'm going to move towards the negatives, which is to the left, 2 spots. So I jump 1, 2. That puts me at positive 1. So my answer is positive 1. All right. Likewise with this one. Draw my number line. What should I get? Pause the video right now to determine the answer with your number line drawing. And once you have it, unpause me and see what you get. So I'm starting with negative 7, which is right here. And I'm jumping 4 jumps to the positive direction. 1, 2, 3, 4, and that puts me at negative 3. All right, so now we're going to talk about subtracting integers. Okay? So if I had negative 13 minus 2. Let's think about that for a second. Okay, negative 13 minus 2. I could draw it on a number line. Just make those 2 hops in the negative direction, 1, 2, and get negative 15. That's kind of easy because 2's not very far away. But what if I had something like negative 110 minus negative 37? I don't really want to draw a bunch of circles, okay? But what I can do is we can do, if you remember, keep, change, flip, okay? Because remember, adding the opposite is the same thing as subtracting. Remember, subtract is the same, it's just adding that opposite. Okay? Because if 3 minus 2 is 1, that's the same thing as 3 adding negative 2. Still the same. So I can treat this as negative 110, change the minus to plus. So instead of subtracting, now I'm going to add. And I'm flipping the sign. I'm now doing the opposite. So instead of negative, now I have positive 37. Okay? And remember what I said in the video before about adding integers that have different signs? I can take the difference. I can do 110 minus 37. 10 minus 7 is 3. And 10 minus 3 is 7. I get 73. The bigger of the two numbers is negative, so my answer is negative. Okay? All right. So let's try another one. Okay. So let's say I have negative 75 minus 25. Okay? Right. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to change it into an addition problem. I'm going to keep change flip. Negative 75, change the subtraction to adding, and this is a positive number, okay? So there's no sign. So now it's a negative. Okay. Negative 75 plus negative 25. Well, they're both negatives, so I can just add them together. Negative 100. Okay? Just like with my two positives I just add together, if I have two negatives, I can add them together. Let's try one more. Negative 61 minus 17. Okay? At this point, I want you to pause the video and see what you get. And then unpause it and check your answer. All right, so I'm going to keep change flip. Negative 61.
This is a reminder, we'll be having a faculty meeting at 3:45 in the library.
As you can see, still at school in the afternoon. Negative 61. Changing my negative to a positive, and my 17 now becomes negative 17. So I have 61 negative chips, and now I'm adding 17 more negative chips. So I have it, my answer is now negative 78. Okay. That's it for this little lesson. Tomorrow we will be practicing adding and subtracting integers.